In Bhagavad Gita, in many places in Gita, we read Sanskrit word Punya, which is sometimes translated as pious deeds. So we know
as what?
Punya.
Yes, pious deeds.
Yes. So we know that even for bhakti we need to have some pious deeds, even to start. Yes. The ways are different. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the most common way is sadhu sangha as a way of getting those deeds for bhakti. But my question is about ajnata Sukriti, because Bhaktivinoda Thakur is not using the word Punya, but he's using the word Sukriti. And he's explaining in his books what Sukriti means and what is ajnata Sukriti. But honestly, I was trying many times to find any description from the Shastra about this ajnata Sukriti, and I couldn't find. So can we consider that ajnata Sukriti, an explanation by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, is kind of preaching strategy? Or is there any reference to ajnata Sukriti as an idea in Shastras? Because as I said, I was unsuccessful in finding any direct reference to.
Okay, indeed. I like to clarify this, make it very clear in the first place that it was not just preaching strategy. Thakur Srila Bhakti Vinod didn't just mention it as simply merely as a preaching strategy, but factually put importance on that. So, ajnata Sukriti is known as unknown spiritual merits. In other words, the accumulation of some unknown spiritual merits is called ajnata Sukriti. Let me explain a little bit. To understand into the nature of ajnata Sukriti, okay, and apparently unknown virtuous deed, virtuous acts, we call merits. So while we engage in some very pious activities in the mode of goodness, just in a very natural way, without false pride, just in a natural flow of some spontaneous happiness, then that creates some virtuous fruits of our karma. And many times we are not conscious of the fact that how much good fruits, how much virtuous fruits or merits we are acquiring through our activities, pious activities or deeds. But still, result takes place, result comes. So that is known as ajnata Sukriti. For example, like many examples have been given, such as suppose you paid for digging a pond, or you arranged for creating a nice pond with pure water. And basically, you just did it with a view of social welfare work, social welfare activities. But what happened? One day, some pure sadhu, just passing by the pond, so He felt like bathing. It was very hot. Felt like bathing, and he bathed in that pond. Did some tarpana with the mantra, with the pond water. Okay. I felt very happy. Just taking a bath in the pond and did some chanting of the mantra, did tarpana. Okay. Came out. That pious result directly got credited into the account of that person who created that pond. Okay. So, that pond was used, it gave so much facility for other villagers or, other persons for bathing, okay, washing clothes, or taking water and then somehow purifying the pond water and drinking in this way. So the results, the fruits achieved from those normal, virtuous actions that many other people, local people getting benefited, taking water from the pond, to be understood like Punya. There's some virtuous results being acquired. Punya, not Sukriti. But when a sadhu, pure sadhu, a pure devotee got into the pond and enjoyed bathing, did some tarpana to the Pitri Purusha, okay, for the devotees, for the Lord, okay, through the mantrams within the pond water, it is done in the Vedic way, okay. Then immediately, because that pond water was utilized now, as the pond water now utilized by a pure sadhu, pure devotee of the Lord, okay, utilized in his service, immediately Sukriti came into being. Sukriti started being accumulated. Okay. So as the more and more, suppose the more and more other sadhus, other devotees of God, using the pond water for worshipping or cleaning the temple premises, other things, some spiritual, special, by all that, special spiritual merits started being accumulated in the account, stored in the account of that person who paid for digging that pond or created that pond with his time, energy and money. An example of how ajnata Sukriti comes. There is a difference between Sukriti and Punya. Punya is more general type, general kind of virtuous results or fruits, whereas Sukriti is special one. It is connected to divine, connected to divine acts, divine services, divine personality. In other words, there's a godly connection. Any action which receives some godly connection, okay, connection of the divinity, connection of the pure devotees, okay, causes to bring up Sukriti, create Sukriti. But that pond maker, that person who created the pond, did not know that is happening. How much Sukriti being credited in his account, he doesn't know, but still it's happening. Just one example. There are many such examples like that. Suppose someone made hospitals, and at certain points, some of the pure sadhus got little bit treatment in the hospital. Sukriti. Sukriti is being transferred, credited in the account of that person who created the hospital. So in this way, creating pond or hospital, sometimes creating some resting place beside the road, in building the temple, okay, giving out some foodstuffs, like food for relief, food for life. And whenever some pure devotees, any divine personalities are taking any advantage of all those, as soon as they are taking any facilities from all those, immediately Sukriti being created. These are some examples of how the unknown spiritual merits created in the life. So they become very helpful to cultivate spiritual life. Ordinary punnam cannot do that. Ordinary punnam is good to bring happiness and enjoyment, and it helps a lot to live life in the mode of goodness with higher thoughts and ideas. But Sukriti is something, it is some special wealth, some special merit which is specifically utilized to facilitate the cultivation of life divine, life of devotion in relation to the Lord. So now back to the point. So that has a vital role to play, especially in the beginning of the cultivation of a devotional life. So Thakur Bhakti Vinod was very right. Okay, he never said only the Sukriti or unknown spiritual merit is the only root cause, but one of the causes is one of the good causes to cultivate, to promote life of devotion, life of servitude. So it is very valuable. Lord has given us a free will. Every jiva soul is endowed with the free will with the Lord. So when one utilizes one's free will in a best way, instead of misuse, doing something great and best, very greatly pious, then some good outcome comes out of it. Lord becomes very happy that the free will which I have given in him or her now being utilized for the best cause, okay, for the best benefit of life. It is being utilized in connection of my service or the services to my devotees. So there should be special grant. Special merit should be granted for that. No ordinary welfare activity. So again, Sukriti comes from the divinely welfare activities. And the more it gets accumulated, the more it comes, at a certain point of life, it comes in great help to cultivate. Assist cultivating our devotional life. So it has some function. So it is needed. But this is one of the causes. Not that only Sukriti is the sole cause or one and only cause to cultivate spiritual. There are other factors also. And what was your question, pinpoint question?
2 points. I'm fine with explanation of the importance and whole idea of Sukritis. Okay. But the second part was, can we find any reference? Scriptural reference, because I know that this term, ajnata Sukriti or Gyata Sukriti, appears in Bhakti Vinod's writings. And in Bhagavatam, in Bhagavad Gita, we can't find, even in Sandarbhas or in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, we can't find.
I think there might be, not in so many places, but maybe one or two places it has been mentioned in scripture, but I have to remember.
There is a story of the
Remember
mouse,
the verse.
of a mouse doing letting the tail.
Oh.
This is the story of an animal.
There are many stories, but I was looking for some verse.
Yes.
Okay, some scriptural verse. That's what I don't remember. Otherwise, there are many stories, not one or two, not even several. Many such stories described in many of the holy scriptures. Okay, in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Puranas, many of the Puranas. Okay, Nishima Purana, Varaha Purana. Okay, then Kurma Purana, Shiva Purana, Mahapurana, yes. And also Srimad Bhagavatam also called as Mahapurana. So there are many such stories that by some special pious acts which connected to God, which were somehow connected with God and service to God and service to His devotees, okay, brought such a huge result, okay, created such a special result, okay, so that in the next life, or even during that lifetime, okay, or in the next life, the devotee became so much helped. He got a special upliftment, okay, promotion, aided by, helped by the fruits or the merits of those, pious acts, spiritual acts, unknowingly. Such references are found from the lifetime of Prahlad Maharaj, previous life of Prahlad Maharaj, which you are saying. Okay. Even Devarshi Narada. Okay. Where it's not found, then to some extent. Ajamila Pakhan. I have to remember, there are many
Many stories also of the opposite situation, when someone unknowingly offends, and also the reaction comes, unknowing offense to a sage, a motive that is also like present.
Yes, both are there. Sukriti and something opposite to Sukriti. Yeah. Risk is always there. Wherever there is some gain, where there is possibility of gain, there will be some risk. They go side by side. But as long as one is very sincere, true to his or her own self, praying for the forgiveness and grace, divine grace of the Lord and His pure devotees, they become taken care of. They become definitely taken care of. Means all the bad things come unknown way. Okay, all that get purified and forgiven. It happens. But that sincerity, that heartfelt prayer has to be there. Heartfelt prayer, okay, with heartfelt sincerity has to be there. Then it's all forgiven by the merciful Lord and pure devotees. Many things, many sinful acts of our life get forgiven by Lord. Otherwise, people could not live their life. Their life would be so filled with suffering terrible. One day an atheist came to me. I don't believe in God. You sometimes speak of the offenses against God, but I don't believe. I don't believe in the God in the first place. So how can I believe that I am committing offense to God, because He is not even existent? To whom should I commit offense? I said, do you believe in yourself? Just tell me in the first place. Do you believe in yourself? Of course. Then you have no way out. You have to believe in God. Because you are not the creator of yourself. Okay, I know, I am not creator of myself. Then how you are created? Oh, I am created by the law of nature. Very good. And I said, do you know something? Parents cannot give birth to a child if it is not validated by the law of nature. And if the law of nature cannot even work, if it is not validated by the potency of the superpower, personality of the superpower. No? You can't create any law, but it doesn't mean anything unless it is implemented in a valid, practical way. Otherwise it just stays as some imagination, law. But law becomes validated in the field of practice by some power. And that is coming from the superpower. Then I told him. Actually, he was posing question in a way. Swamiji, I don't believe in God. Can you make me believe in God? I said, look, suppose if you are a dead body right now, you become a dead body. You won't even speak a little bit of word like this. You won't have the ability to speak out a little bit in this line. I don't believe in God. Can you make me believe in God? By whose? Because He is present within you. That's why you are able to boast against Him. Speak something, you are boasting out, speaking something against Him. I don't believe in God. So, such boasting is also being empowered, okay, in a way, by the presence of God within you. If you are a dead body, you cannot even speak. Your lips will not speak out, your tongue will not say anything, your lips will not move. Okay, you cannot even think anything. You are a dead body. Okay, so understand something. Validated by whose power you are even boasting. Today you are boasting before me, I don't believe in God. Can you make me believe in God? That is God's potency. You are trying to deny Him, validated by His potency. Do you realize that? When you are a dead body, everything is there. Your lips, tongue, eyes, ear, head, legs, heart, everything. Still you are not there to boast even. So that is God. That is God. By whose potency you are able to boast, you are able to deny Him, trying to deny Him, that is God. Without His potency you cannot even deny Him. He understood. He kept silent for a moment. Yes, it's very true. He immediately said, Maharaj, you have got realization. You're a realized soul. That's why you answered me such a practical way. It's very true. If I am a dead body, I cannot boast in this way. So this power coming from who? Then in that relation I explained to him, God forgives many offenses in our life out of affection. That's why we can live. Because he was originally talking about, I don't believe in blasphemy to God because I don't believe in His existence in the first place. That's how I started. I said, know something. When babies in mother's lap, or even not even baby, little bit grown up child, a child little bit grown up, takes out so much anger and emotion on mother, like beating and kicking, not mother and father and all. They understand, it's my child. Okay, they forgive, easily forgive. They take all this because they have affection, they forgive. That's why those children can survive, can lovingly grow. If parents want to take action against them, the children will be suffering. they cannot go away because they have no other shelter than parents. Immediate shelter. Parents are their shelter. And sometimes they are trying to offend. They are offending the very shelter of them. Okay? So, and parents are forgiving by nature. I mean, good parents. I mean, real ideal parents are not, because here, upon coming to European Western countries, I hear many stories, parents are not being very good. Only time with the children, they lose patience. I'm talking of the ideal parents. So ideal parents always try to teach them nicely and forgive the children without taking offense, knowing they're a small child. Our God also does the same, because He forgives many offenses in our life, known and unknown. Therefore, we can live our life peacefully and happily. Had it been the case, the bad activities of the people would not have been forgiven, or, at least compassionately considered, not completely forgiven, but kindly considered so that punishment becomes less. Then all the people's life, many persons engaged in sinful activities like in their life would become just hell. People engaged in sinful activities would just simply live a life of suffering every day, hellish life. So because people don't have to take all the reactions from the bad activities, therefore they can more or less they can live their life happily, peacefully, nicely on this plane. Although some suffering are there time to time, experience of pain and pleasure both are there, but still comparatively they can live a happy, peaceful life because many offensive things forgiven. Otherwise it would be terrible life of suffering. So when people think, I did this sinful activity, I did this bad thing, what is happening to me? Nothing is happening to me, nothing will happen. They are very ignorant and very stupid, illusioned, so much they are living under the bliss of ignorance. Living so much under the bliss of ignorance, under so much illusion. Okay. Many of the many results from our bad activities, sinful activities don't come immediately. They don't appear through immediate reaction. They come later, like slow poison. You take a slow poison, won't immediately die. It may take a month to cause someone's death. But because it's not immediately felt, directly experienced immediately, doesn't mean it's not reacting. Doesn't mean it is not having reaction in my body. It is. When it comes to the surface, when it comes to the level of the solid experience, then we can realize, I am poisoned. I am having now poisonous effects. I am becoming sick due to this poisonous effect, slowly working in my body. So many things happen in our life we don't know about. When it comes to the surface of a direct experience, then only we come to know, it is happening. But it already started happening from the beforehand, whether any positive or negative things. Like, for example, some sickness. That sickness already started happening in the beforehand, but because it didn't come to a tangible level of experience of my life, my body was tolerating and fighting, trying to fight, so I didn't feel sick. But when it became intensified and came on certain level, then I can experience I am sick. But that sickness not appearing then and there, immediately. It already started happening beforehand. Yeah? Slowly it's building up. Then when my body cannot take it anymore, I feel sick. So something started happening before I actually experience. Okay, also the way of the karma. So many things. I can also give the positive result, positive example, similar way. Many things positive are taking place in my life through the practice of spiritual life, whether or not we understand immediately. Like we are chanting holy names of the Lord, we think, oh, nothing is happening to me, I am not experiencing. No, it's a very wrong idea. Already some good things. I have already started accumulating some good fruits in some way. From chanting the holy names of the Lord, engaging in service to the Lord and devotees, okay, engaging in some saintly activities, devotional activities, whether or not I immediately get the result, experience the result, but they are happening. When the time will come, all these accumulated merits will come in big help in my life. Okay, so none of it is also Lord also says in Bhagavad Gita, Salpam Apasya Dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhaya. Even someone does something very, very little out of great sincerity and devotion to me, to my devotees, that can rescue, save his life from great danger even. Okay? Even somebody offers to me simple thing like water, flower, tulasi leaves, okay? With some devotion, I accept them with great love. Okay, and in return of that such service, that person becomes so much spiritually benefited, devotionally benefited. Lord Krishna says yes.
Actually,
so I have not completed. So let me, because I am a very thorough person, I want to.
Okay, you want to.
Okay, I want to answer to thorough analysis. So that's how even many things positive in our life also start happening before it is directly experienced by us. But the fact that we are not immediately experiencing about the happenings of certain positive or negative things in our life doesn't mean it's not happening. When it's come to a level of a tangible experience, then only we come to know it's happening. Otherwise we cannot. But we don't know means, it doesn't mean, we don't know doesn't mean necessarily that it's not happening. So sometimes devotees have question in mind, we are engaging in so many good activities, not getting good result immediately. Am I progressing? Really, am I really accumulating some spiritual merits? Question may arise. The answer is yes. Nothing of your sincere service endeavor can go in vain. Will never go in vain. All being registered, okay, by the Supreme Lord, by the law, spiritual law created by Supreme Lord. Everything is registered in the world of the Supreme Lord. So that will never go in vain. Yes.
I was speaking with Madhu about this ajnata Sukriti thing, because we have like many students, and we sometimes feed them prasadam that is prepared by us. And we were wondering, this is our new topic, whether they really benefit from it or not. Do they actually perform some kind of ajnata Sukriti?
You first you offer those foodstuffs to the Lord.
Yes.
Then it becomes prasad. Then actually
Yes,
distribute the prasadam. Yes, definitely. Both sides will be benefited. The distributor and those distributed to. Both will be benefited.
So it's some kind of ajnata Sukriti?
Yes.
And
well, no, it is not ajnata Sukriti exactly, because you know it, what you are doing. So it will be Gyata Sukriti.
from the perspective
Gyata means
of
from
the
those
children and the
who
students.
accepting.
Yes, it will be considered as spiritual merits known. Agyata means unknown. Okay, as I gave example, you did something, you created some great facilities for many people, okay, and with the mode of social welfare work, or with the mode of with the spirit of doing good to all the people, human beings, animals, everyone. Then, when some sadhus are taking the facility of those good creations by someone, when those good creations being utilized in some way in the service to the Lord and sadhus, then some unknown merits being created, which that person who created, who became instrumental to create all this, did not know. He was not aware of what is happening, that some great devotees are using his stops, okay, his facilities, everything. So he did not know, but still merits being credited in his life. That is called unknown way. Okay? But both are merits, whether unknown or known. What you have just said is a known, it is in the known category. Okay?
Known on my side?
Known to yourself,
yes,
but not known to those people,
yes,
unless you make them aware. Take this prasadam. When you are making them aware, you are taking prasadam of God. It's not just some normal, ordinary food stuff you are eating, but actually eating the prasadam of God. When you make them known, then when they believe in that, then it becomes a known merits for them. They acquire some known merits.
Mm-hmm.
But when they suppose they don't believe in it, they're taking just some, she is a monk, she is a lady nun, so she is just she's doing her duty. She has to say in that way, so she's just doing her duty. I'm just tasting as some delicious food stuff. Don't believe in taking prasadam, but still there will be some merits, and that will be unknown by those people because they don't believe in. It's not really known, but you know what you are doing, so it will be a known Sukriti for you. For those people will be unknown, but when they start believing in, actively believing, I'm taking Lord's prasadam, I'll receive so much merits from it, higher merits, which will help my spiritual life, then it becomes known merits. So whether merits, spiritual merits in any way, whether known or unknown, very extremely beneficial, both are beneficial.
Well, Maharaj, what you said at the beginning of your explanation, I find the most important one, that is only one of the factors. Because there are some Gaudiya missions, I can even mention one, but just let's forget which one, which makes their own vision or strategy for doing these ajnata sukritis from the perspective of preaching as the main activity. So going outside, chanting, doing Nagar, Sankirtan, or doing this kind of activities is considered by some devotees like spreading mercy of Mahaprabhu in the way of Ajnata Sukhi. Because maybe somebody will listen, maybe somebody will just get some scars.
I agree.
Yes,
it will be Ajnata Sukriti for those people.
Yes,
but not for the devotees.
No.
Yes.
We are talking only about audience. Yes. Innocent people who are not, they have no knowledge. They didn't start even
as long as they remain unaware.
Yeah.
Of that they are hearing the chanting of the holy names, taking the prasadam of the God, then it's Ajnata Sukriti, definitely.
Yeah.
But as soon as they come to know about, consciously relating to Krishna consciousness, with the knowledge that it will bring up so much merit, spiritual merits, if they engage in such chanting of the holy name, doing Sankirtan activity or engaging in service to the Lord, then it is becoming Gyato. Jnata Sukriti. No.
Sometimes there's
But just finish. I'm saying that when somebody knows that Siddhanta is only one of the factors, so you can emphasize this whole idea of ajnata Sukriti, and it can be the base or foundation of your strategy of preaching bhakti, to idea of bhakti, concept of bhakti to others. Because if you will be running on the streets with idea, I have offered some, I don't know, sweets, some laddu to Lord, and now I will be distributing prasad. So of course, as you said, this is from your perspective is beneficial, yes, that you are distributing the mercy of the Lord. But for those people who are outside,
yes,
I think this is, but you can't make it as a mission of your life, because according to Gita, when you do something with knowledge, is much more powerful and beneficial for both sides than when you do it unconsciously. Like saying, please take this food.
Okay, both have utility. I'm not comparing between them, but both have utility.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So it can be kind of preaching strategy too for someone.
Yes.
Like distributing prasadam, for example, to people who do not know anything about India. They just eat prasadam and they know nothing about it.
Okay. When I say Thakur Bhakti Vinod didn't just mention it only merely as preaching strategy. Sometimes, these lines of expressions, these ways of expression have twofold meanings. Mm-hmm. One, like, it's a kind of policy, technical, mechanical, some policy, okay, strategy, a very dry, formal sense, okay, strategy, okay. Other way, it is a conscious, beneficial, it is a system taken, a conscious system taken by the devotee, okay, because of its beneficial nature. So while you use the term strategy, it has twofold meanings. One is just general negative way, dry, formal way. Another is full of life, full of well wishes. So when you mean with the second version of the preaching strategy, it's fine. Yes, because that means there is a goal you are taking through that system, preaching system, right? So you are motivated in a very beneficial, divinely motivated. Okay, using some strategy with divine motivations. Okay.
But then there could be.
Then it is not just strategy. It becomes a living system. Okay, full of life, full of affection, care for those people.
Yes.
So that's what I mean. Strategy, when strategy is filled with so much care, affection and love for others, there is not just only strategy, it is more than that.
Okay, but then there is a danger to this, because I don't know if it's a danger or maybe that's a proper way to think. Like we may think there's no difference between the souls entrapped in human bodies and souls entrapped in animal bodies or vegetable bodies or anything like that. So let's just liberate the grass and chant Hare Krishna while mowing, and let's just cook as many carrots for Krishnas, but you know what I mean, Maharaj. So we may think that we actually, by offering food to Krishna, are liberating more than just human beings.
Sure. Sure.
So this is also kind of a Gyaras greedy one.
Yes. So its effect is multifaceted. How do you call multifaceted?
Yes.
Those trees, plants, vegetables being used to be offered to Lord, the devotees who themselves taking the prasad and also distributing the same prasad to the people. So now three sides are receiving benefit. All these three categories of the beings, living beings, getting benefited. like this.
Okay.
True. So benefits not just connected to only one category. All are interconnected. Very true. And again back to the point of Jnata and Ajnata Sukriti. You may say sometimes, in a relative sense, you may call it as Ajnata Sukriti, unknown merits, like even when you are engaged in doing something great service, okay, some great loving service, and you know that you are going to receive a great result out of it. You know it by Siddhanta, by the knowledge that your such serving efforts will not go in vain, you are actually going to receive a great result. But you cannot directly know about how the result happening. Okay, you cannot prove to yourself immediately that it's immediately producing some great merits in your life. You don't directly experience it, but you just know by ideal and knowledge of Siddhanta it is going to happen. That's what is the expectation. Okay, so in a way it can also be called as unknown Sukriti, because although you are conscious of the fact that it's going to bring so much merits to you, but you don't directly experience it now. You don't know it directly. So kind of unknown to you at this present moment. Although on principle you know it is going to bring so much good to you. So in a relative sense, that is also kind of Ajnata Sukriti in that state. But as soon as you can relate or experience that from such good services, actually you are receiving so much benefit, then it comes on the plane of Jnata Sukriti. No. But you are more directly aware of it. So, different ways.
And there is another thing I was pondering about, because there is something like one of the offenses towards the holy name is that you chant the holy name like trying to, like thinking that you will benefit from it, like in a Punya kind of way, like mundane. So this is one of the offenses, and I wonder if, for example, it is not so common amongst the devotees actually in the West, because they were like kind of trained from the beginning to be a bit selfless. But there might be some kind of feeling, maybe on a deeper level, that, oh, I'm doing it and I will go, I will be benefited by something, like, you know, and then you do it ajnata, but then at one point you do it jnata, but in this negative way. Is it affecting actually the...
If it is done with negative spirit, negative
selfish,
motive,
maybe.
motive, especially mundanely selfish motive, then it can create some offense to the holy name.
And spiritually.
But spiritually, when one is spiritually motivated to receive something, so there's nothing, there's no harm. That will not create any offense, okay? There's nothing wrong with that.
So selfishness...
Selfish, what is, okay.
Spiritually selfish, like I will go back to Godhead soon.
Yes, that's very good. When we use all these terms, selfish, or selfish, selfless, valuable, invaluable, valueless or invaluable, these terms are used in both ways, some in negative way, some positive way. Okay, like for example, nirguna. Nirguna doesn't necessarily mean, oh, devoid of all qualities, without any qualities. Nirguna means sattva, transcending the trigunas, transcending the mundane qualification. Means qualified in a transcendental way, therefore it's called nirguna. Surpassing the normal stage of the gunas. Nirguna. Like, for example, we see invaluable. Invaluable doesn't mean, oh, valueless. Because it's so much valuable, one cannot give its price. One cannot really calculate its price value beyond the calculation of our valuations. beyond the concepts of our valuation, therefore we call invaluable. Doesn't mean valueless, but invaluable means more than valuable.
Yeah.
In a similar way, also, when you say selfless, okay, doing something, or selfish, okay, sometimes, okay, when we use the word selfless, he's doing it very selfless way, but actually, like nirguna, like found invaluable, priceless, okay, when we use selfless can also mean in spiritual, in connection of the spiritual world, in relation to the achievement of the spiritual world. When you do some service in a selfless way, it can also mean very much self-full way, because in exchange of doing that service, I repeat, in exchange of doing that particular devotional service, we have got a great motive. Self-full motive, let me use this term. Selfless, I can say self-full. Because selfish is so negative connotation.
Yes.
So devotees can have so much self-full motive. I will receive eternal loving connection with my beloved. Okay. I will receive, okay, the taste of ecstatic love services to the divine couple. Okay. All fulfilling, which is highest fulfillment of life. Okay. So see, the motive is there. But it's it is a best motive, not just good, not just better, best motive. Okay. So sadhana means there is some motivations there. We have to eliminate the wrong motives and accept the right motives. Okay. Pratikulya vivarjana, anukula sangha, acceptance of the favorables to life of devotion and rejection of the unfavorables to the same cause. So, when we say acceptance of those favorable to devotional life, that favor means we are receiving some favor. I will achieve some favor from this, that concept is there. So, back to the point. So, devotees can be, when the devotees become divinely motivated, devotionally motivated in a high-class Krishna conscious way. When selflessly motivated, selflessly is used from the mundane comparison. Devotees, in one hand, selflessly engaged means without any mundane selfish interest. That is, so that selflessness is being applied for that, to mean that. Indicate mundane selflessness. But the same devotee is so fully motivated on the other direction, because he or she knows that engaging in such services can bring so much benefit, spiritual benefit in life, so much gain. Of course, high-class spiritual gain, divine gain. Finally, the attainment of the Supreme Lord. Okay? Receiving the entrance into the beautiful, most beautiful divine world of ecstatic love relationship with the Supreme divine truth, the beloved Lordships. So, their ambition is pretty high, highest ambition they have. And wherever there is highest ambition, there will be motivation. A positive, very, very positive motivation. Very self-full devotees are also. Okay? So, clear. There is nothing, what to speak, there is nothing wrong with it. That's how it should be. Devotees should be self-fully motivated in that way. And Lord enjoys that mood in devotee. Selfless in a mundane way, but self-full in a devotional way. But again, self-full in which way? Devotional way. No business way. Oh, I am doing so much. Lord, you remember. Please remember, I am doing so much for you. So in return, you also have to pay me back. Okay, it's business dealings between you and me. Then it's no more devotion. So devotionally motivated. One can also be very selfful in a devotional, pure devotional way. Then it's very beautiful. Okay.
We'll have to make some t-shirts. Don't be selfish, be selfful. Devotion.
Divine. Divinely, you have to mention.
Divine.
Okay, devotionally. Krishna, even the concept of our love for God is very much qualified by devotion, nature of devotion. A love without devotion is cheap class. Like mundane love, so-called love found on the mundane plane, which is so fragile, temporary type, is not qualified to be offered to Lord. Because on this plane, on the mundane plane, the concept of love, feelings of love is purely, mostly based on one's own choice, one's own liking. Or because I like you so much at this moment, I love you so much. As soon as I hate you, I don't like you anymore, I don't love you. So it is also so much based on selfish motivations, give and take policy. Okay? All are contract. Conception of mundane love, worldly love is like basically a contract. They all know, give and take. I give you so much, you also give me back. Okay? And so both sides, they expect from each other. Okay? As soon as that relation is no more there, some selfish contract is no more there, all love is gone. They hate each other. It happens. But the nature of the high class spiritual love, love divine, is never dependent on some selfish contracts. Okay? Self-dependent. It is self-dependent. Love for love. Okay? Not dependent on some business give and take policy. As soon as that is broken, everything is gone. It's not like that. So, that is called love with devotion. Love with proper respect. Because here we find, I love you means, it may not mean I respect you so much. I like you, so I love you. As soon as I don't like you, I don't love you. So it's called cheap class love. Coming and going without any commitment, without any proper responsibility of respectful relations between. But the nature of spiritual love, divine love, is opposite to that. It's like dharma. It doesn't change depending on I like or I don't like. Only my whims. It doesn't change depending on my own whims. Okay? But it is itself, by itself, a dharma, a holy principle, a divine principle. It is called devoted love. So the love, the quality of love accepted by Lord Krishna, the kind of love which is qualified to be offered to Lord Krishna is a love with devotion. A respectful love, love with filled with respect, love filled with devotion. In other words, it's called loving devotion or devotional love. No cheap class love. Okay, so I just clarified in this relation. Which relation? That was self-full, selfish. One is business way, mundane business, another more devotional. Okay, devotional love is very different from a selfish love. Often we misunderstand selfish love to be a real love. It's not. Okay? Because that's very much conditioned by some motivation of expectation from each other. As soon as expectation is disturbed, love also gone. But love for Krishna is never like that. Gaur Hari Bol.